Mr. Whiston was good enough to send me a letter this morning, sir.
Oh?
From Horsham General Hospital.
Ah, yes, sir. Daddy's not quite up to snuff, I'm afraid.
He mentions his retirement.
Oh, really?
I think we'll manage pretty well with you, Mr. Rumpole, as head of chambers.
Oh, do you think so, Albert?
There's not much you and me won't be able to sort out, sir, over a glass or two in Pomeroy's wine bar. And soon we'll be welcoming Master Nick into chambers.
Nick? Well, yes, he's certainly showing some legal aptitudes, no doubt.
It'll be a real family affair, Mr. Rumpole, if you want my opinion. Like father, like son.
Like father, like son. How very nice.
Mr. Rumpole, I've checked that date.
Yeah? You clever old darling. Thank you very much, Mr. Bernard. When Jim told you that he'd done up the butchers, did he say the date that had happened?
My lord, the date is very clearly set out in the indictment.
My lord, I am cross-examining on behalf of my young client who is charged with a very serious offence. I would be grateful if my learned friend did not volunteer information which is known to all of us here in court except the witness.
Very well. Please go on, Mr. Rumpole.
Did he tell you the date?
No, he never told me when. I thought it was sometime in the summer.
Sometime this summer. Are you a fan of the Rolling Stones, Peanut?
Yeah.
Remind me, they were...
The musicians.
Oh, shut up, Featherstone.
Thank you, Mr. Featherstone.
And is Jim, too, a fan?
He was, yeah.
You discussed music before you met in the remand home?
Before the Nick? Oh, yeah.
You talked about it at school together?
Yeah.
And in quite a friendly way?
Well, we was all right, yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever go to a concert with Jimbo? No,
we went to
just
one...
a minute. Now, think carefully.
Yeah, we went to 1 or 2 concerts together.
In the evening?
Yeah.
And what would you do? Would you call to his home, collecting?
You're joking.
What?
You must be joking.
No, in this case, I'm not joking at all.
Well, of course I wouldn't call it his own.
No, the families don't speak. You wouldn't be welcome at each other's houses.
The Montagues and the Capulets, Mr. Rumpole.
If your lordship pleases. Your lordship puts it extremely aptly. So what would you do if you were going to a concert together?
Well, we'd leave school together, like, and then just hang around the cafes.
Hang around the cafes?
The cafes, Mr. Rumpole.
Yes, of course, the cafes, my lord. Before you went up west. If your lordship would allow me to translate, before they went to the west end of London together.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't be separated when you went to a concert together?
We hung around together.
Did that happen when you went to the Rolling Stones concert at the Hammersmith Odeon?
Yeah.
That was this summer, wasn't it?
In the summer, yeah.
So you left school together?
And hung around the cafes, then we went up to the Odeon.
And you were together that evening the whole time?
I told you, didn't I?
Yes, indeed, you told me. Thank you very much. My lord, perhaps my learned friend might be interested in knowing the date of the one and only Rolling Stones concert at the Hammersmith Odeon this year. He might like to compare it with the date of the offence, so conveniently set out in the indictment.
You had an alibi. You had a proper, reasonable, truthful alibi. And joy of joys, it even came from the prosecution. Now, why the hell didn't you tell me?
Your dad wouldn't have liked it.
Your dad wouldn't have liked it. And because of that, you were prepared to be found guilty. You were prepared to be convicted of robbery with violence.
Dad got the family to alibi me.
Keep it in the family.
Oh, well, I better collect my things. Anyway, thanks a lot, Mr. Rumpole. Dad said I could rely on you to win the daylight. Cheers.
Now, wait, I didn't win the day. It was luck. It was a sheer fluke, Jimbo. It'll never happen again.
You're joking, Mr. Rumpole. My dad told me about you. He says he never let the Timpsons down.
Do you think that's what I'm here for? To help you along in a career like your dad's? Oh, God, I shouldn't have asked those questions. I shouldn't have found out the date of that concert. Then you'd really be happy, wouldn't you? Then you'd really be able to follow in your dad's footsteps all your life. Sharp spells in Borstal to learn the mysteries of housebreaking, and then on to a solid life of crime. Oh, you might do really well. You might end up in Parkhurst in the maximum security wing, doing a glamorous 20 years and a hero to the screws.
He's got his things at the gate, Mr. Rumpole. Come on, Timson. You can't stay here all night.
Oh, well, I've got to go. I don't know how to face my dad, really. Me being so friendly with Peanuts.
No, Jim, wait a minute. Just a minute. Just a minute. Look, come here. Now, listen. If you're pleased with the way I did your case...
Oh, I am, Mr. Rumpole. Frankly, I'm quite satisfied.
Oh, I'm glad. Look, would you consider doing me a favour?
Why? On my own legal aid?
Of course, we're on legal aid. No, it's not that. Listen. Haven't you ever thought about getting away from your home?
I couldn't do that. Not ever.
Why not?
Well, my mum depends on me, see, like when Dad goes away. Well, she depends on me then as head of the family.
Head of the family.
Cheers.
Don't look so miserable, Mr. Rumpole. You won, didn't you?
Nobody won, Inspector. But truth emerges sometimes, even down the Old Bailey.
But he's a Timson. Runs in the family. We'll get him, sooner or later.
Yes, I suppose you will. There we are. Thanks, Fran. No, George.
Hello, Rumpole. Come and join us.
Marvellous win, that. I've just been telling them.
Yes, I hear you've had a splendid win, Rumpole.
Railing clouds of glory do we come.
It'll be years before you get the cheque.
What was it about exactly? I forget.
You don't get paid for years at the Old Bailey. I tried to tell my grocer that. If you had to wait as long to be paid for a pound of sugar, I tell him, as we do for an armed robbery...
Albert tells me he's had a letter from Whiston. And I'd just like to say, Rumpole, I think we'd all like to say, you'll make a splendid head of chambers.
Shades of the prison house begin to close around the growing boy, but he beholds the light and whence it flows and sees it in his joy.
Rumpole quotes Wordsworth, does it quite often.
But does the growing boy behold the light, George? Or was the old sheep of the Lake District being unduly optimistic?
Well, I think it'll be very refreshing to have a head of chambers who quotes poetry.
Have you seen the Times, Rumpole?
No, haven't had time. The crossword.
Guthrie Featherstone. He's taken silk.